All right, so boom. So what you want to do when you're running four verts, basically you want to read the play from left to right. Okay, and by four verts, I mean all go, and you'll usually find those in some sort of a 2x2 formation. And so what you want to do is you want to read it left to right. So let's say this is how you're reading it. You're reading the outside corner. Is that open? Or excuse me, you're reading the outside wide receiver. Is that open? No. Then you read the number 2. Is that open? It's breaking open, but let's imagine that it wasn't. Then you go to 3, and then you go to 4, who's streaking up the sideline over there. So that's how you read it. You go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. If none of them are available, you want to check it down to your running back. Okay. Speaking of the running back, let's talk about that purple route. That is a check and release route. So if your opponent sends 4 rushers, which is typical, as long as it's not some sort of a blitz, they're sending 4, then he's going to run this option route. So based on the defense here, he sends 4, and then we'll see he goes on that option route, which was an out route that time. Okay. So that's how that works. Now, if your opponent sends 5, it looks like they might this play, then he's going to stay in and block. Okay, he was supposed to stay in and block that time. I don't know why he didn't, but when this works properly, he stays in and he blocks if it's a blitz of some kind. Okay. Now you can see the HB triangle over that linebacker. That is telling us who the running back is going to block if that guy is if he's blitzing. Okay, so if that guy with the HB triangle over his head, if he was blitzing, the running back, oh my god, the running back would try to pick that guy up, but he's not blitzing, so the running back is going to run his option route. So again, looks like there's only 4 guys blitzing here, or actually there's 5. And the running back, he went on a route again. Oh, I know why. Because of the triangle, right? So you see how the triangle is over the nickel defender on the right side. That's who the running back is going to pick up. If you want to change that, you can go to your pass protection and you can like half slide or slide another way. And you see how that halfback triangle is moving around? That's how you're changing who the running back is going to pick up if the guy is blitzing. So you can see here that edge has the triangle. So the running back should stay in and pick that guy up, and he does. And that's how that purple route works. So again, the purple route, the HB, if that guy blitzes, the running back is going to pick him up. If he doesn't, he's going to run that option. And so that guy doesn't come, pause. So he runs that option, boom, and then we can just dump it off. Now, if that guy was blitzing, the running back will pick him up. So right now, it's over that middle linebacker. We hike the ball. He doesn't blitz. What the hell? The running back, so sometimes this is just inconsistent, guys. Like I'm giving you ideal state how it should work in theory. Sometimes the game is just inconsistent. So anyway, the running back triangle, it's over that nickel over there. The guy doesn't come, pause, so he runs his option route. Okay, so that's how that works. Again, if you want to move it around, move that triangle around, you can half slide it, or you can half slide, and now he's picking up him. You can full slide, he's picking up the edge. So now that he's picking up the edge, he'll do that, but now we can just try to throw it deep to someone. Now, I actually don't love this option route. So what I like to do is hot route him and put him on a block and release, which is the same thing. It's still a purple route and it works the same way, but it's just this much more useful flat route. And so we can see the halfback triangle. It's over that middle linebacker. He does not blitz. So, oh my God, bro. I don't know why he's not running his route. So again, we'll put him on the block and release. The guy doesn't blitz, so he runs this route. I just prefer that route better. It just gets out to the flat, and I usually will get more yards with that. So what I like to do a lot of times is just put him on this block and release route again, and then throw it like that. underneath if I need to check it down. So that's how the running back works. Okay. Now starting on the left side, you have that outside fade on square. So I only throw the outside fade against press man coverage. When the corner is backed up super far like he is now, it's highly unlikely that's ever going to get open unless your guy has like a dramatic speed advantage, right? But like that, right there, like it's really just hard to throw that. You certainly can. Maybe if you have like a 99 receiver, like sometimes it doesn't even matter if the corner is backed off, the outside receiver can still throw it. If he's backed off, I pretty much look that off and I'm going to number 2. Even in this situation with the corner being 5 yards off, I still don't like to throw it because I know it's cover 2 and that safety on the left side, he's going to do a pretty good job of getting back there and defending that outside fade. Okay. So typically I'm not even looking at that fade pre-snap, or excuse me, post-snap. I'm not looking at that fade. The fade route to me, it's a pre-snap read. Like right here, now it's viable. If I call this play, I walk to the line and I see press man coverage, this is now a viable option. And if we get a good release, then we can now potentially throw that fade route as long as there's not safety help over the top. So we don't get a great release, but I'll just throw it anyway. There was no safety help over the top, and it worked out for us. Okay, so that outside fade to me, again, it's a pre-snap read. I'm only even thinking about it if it's press man coverage. Right now, it's press man. We're going to look at the release. Not a great release. So, we'll just do one of these and complete that pass. All right, so if I walk to the line and I see this, corner's backed off, I'm not going to throw it because it's just the corner's going to bag that route. So pre-snap, I'm looking that off. Now I'm going to the number 2 triangle, Bennett Jr. So he is on an option route. How this option route works is it runs the post against man coverage and all cover 2s. Anything else, it's just going to run the seam streak. Okay, so like this is cover 3. It should just run the seam streak, and he does. And theoretically, against cover 3, the seam streak is open. I'm not great at throwing the seam streak, to be honest with you guys. I know a lot of people can throw the seam streak well, not me. So yeah. So against this is man coverage, and like I said, against man coverage, he's going to run the post. So, and this post gets open a lot. So now we hike the ball and we know, okay, he's going to run the post, boom. And like I said, that post gets open quite a bit. All right, so this is a zone coverage. So it should be just the streak, the seam streak, unless it's some sort of a cover 2, and it's not. So again, we have the seam streak, and I'm pass leading that seam streak to the outside away from the middle safety. If you can see, like this safety here, I'm pass leading away from him. We know this is just zone drop defense because he doesn't match him and follow him upfield. He just reroutes him. And so once he clears that linebacker, we can just pass lead to the outside, and it's a tight throw. I don't love making that throw. Some people do it all the time. It's up to you. All right, so one thing I don't think I did a great job of explaining when I watched it back was that I like to think of verts as a grass read, which means you're primarily reading open grass instead of your wide receivers. Most plays you're watching your wide receivers to see if they get open. You're seeing what type of separation that they get. With verts, or at least the way that I like to run it, I like to read grass, meaning which areas of the field are open after the hike of the ball. So I'm not even looking at my wide receivers. I'm not even looking at them. I'm looking at like here. I'm looking to see if this grass is still open. I'm looking to see if there's grass open here. I'm looking in these areas like that. That's where I'm looking. And the reason is because the safeties here and here, a lot of times safeties will rotate post snap. well, they'll do one of two things, right? They'll just stay put. So then they'll just like backpedal and play this zone, something like this. Post snap, they might do that. Or sometimes they'll rotate. Like sometimes the safety, he might come down and play this area, which then means boom, that's open right there. That's supposed to be a check mark if he rotates like that. Or let's say the safety rotates this way and he's actually an outside third. Well then, boom, this area of the field is now open for your vertical. So that's what I mean by it's a grass read. And the way you read grass is by watching the rotation of the safeties. And so let's hit play and let's see what happens here, how I dial this one up. Keep your eyes on the safeties is what we're watching here. Boom. Okay. Remember, we're watching the safeties. We're not watching our wide receivers. What did we see? We saw him. Let me get my pen out. He was here. Oh shit, I moved the screen. Hopefully this is still working okay. All right, so he was here, but then he rotated this way. So he's like actually like an outside third. What does that mean? That means this area of the field is now going to be open for the vertical. This DB is still in his back pedal. He's never going to have what he needs in terms of speed to turn around and run with that. So because we've seen him vacate that zone, we know that grass is going to be open. So we just throw it to a spot. You're throwing it to grass is what you're doing. You're not necessarily throwing it to the wide receiver. So just like that, what is that? I don't know how many yards that was, but we're in field goal range already. But I'm greedy. I want more than a field goal. I want a touchdown. So I'm just going to call 4 verts again. Let's take a look at our play. Oh, I wanted to take a look at the play art. All right, so we're in 4 verts again, right? Again, we're reading grass and we're reading safeties. But also, this is press coverage. And in press coverage, this is now throwable. We want to see what type of release he gets. If not, like I said, we know he's going to run that post, and that post always gets open. So let's press play, press coverage. I'm looking at number 1. Boom. Does he get a good release? He does get a good release because he's stumbling. However, I'm also reading the safety, and the safety is rotating out. So that's not going to be throwable. So then I'm moving on to my second read, and that's going to be the post. And I always throw the post. And just like that, we're down the field 4 yards to pay dirt. And so that's how we run 4 verticals. That's what I mean. It's a grass read. The main thing that you want to be doing post snap is reading the safeties and reading how they rotate after you snap the ball. That's going to dictate where you can throw the ball deep. Okay, so this is cover 4, it looks like. So again, we can anticipate a seam streak. And that was actually a cover 3. And so that happens a lot against cover 3 when it looks like cover 4 pre-snap and the safety rotates down at the snap. When he rotates down, you usually have a 1-play touchdown because he comes down and he just I don't know, he stops his feet, he stops his progress, and he waits a little bit, like right there. And then you just burn him, and then you can just pass lead over the top. And that happens quite a bit, actually. So it is a viable and reliable 1-play touchdown. All right, so this looks like cover 3, so it should just be the seam streak. It is match defense, so it's the stream streak that's totally bagged, but I just threw it anyway. So you guys can see, all right, this looks like man coverage, so he's going to run the post. Boom, and the post gets open all the freaking time. Boom. All right, so that's the number 2. That's how you read that option route from the number 2. If it's zone, it's a streak. If it's cover 3 or cover 4, it's the seam streak. Any cover 2, man or zone, it's the skinny post. All right. We already went over how to throw the running back, and then you have X Smith. I honestly don't ever throw here. I'll just be honest with you guys. I just don't. And so I'm not even going to go over it, honestly, because at that point, after I've gone through my first 2 reads, I'm usually going to my final read, which is going to be circle. Now circle, I put on a backup like check down. Against backup coverage, I'll either do a comeback like that, or I will do like a deep stop route, something like that. So let's say I hiked the ball and I looked off number 1 and number 2, they're not there. I'll just throw the stop route. Okay. And I stemmed up that stop route twice just to give it more time for me to read the other 2 routes. Again, I'm looking at the stop route only. Let's say, okay, 1's not there, 2's not there, stop route. Boom. Okay. And let's say you don't want to throw the stop route. Well, then you always have this check and release route from the running back. So pre-snap, we're like, okay, he's going to read that middle linebacker. If he blitzes, nope. All right, he's going to run that flat that I like. Boom, I can check it down underneath and get my yards. And that's how you read 4 verticals. So it's partially a pre-snap and post-snap. So against this, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a few plays and show you guys what I'm thinking and how I would run this play against it. All right, so every single time what I'm going to do is hot route the running back to this better check and release route that I like, and then put circle on the like backup check down, which I'll do a stop route. Okay, so that's what I'll do every single time. So what I would do is, all right, pre-snap, square. Is it press coverage? Yes. Okay, I might have it. I probably won't because this is cover 2 because of the deep safety. Unless that safety rotates down. If he rotates down, I'll throw square. If not, I'm going to throw triangle because triangle is going to run the post because this is man coverage. Okay, so that's what I would say pre-snap. And then if none of that's there, I'm going to throw R1. All right, he rotated over. Boom, we got him. And so you kind of have to talk yourself through it. You know what I mean? Like you have to talk yourself through the play before you even snap the ball, right? Like a real quarterback, you say to yourself, okay, I might have this outside streak. If I get a good release, I just need to see what the safety does. And so I'm looking at the safety. Boom, he rotates to the middle. So I'm like, okay, he can't guard up the sideline. So this is cover 1. Did I get a good release off the line? I did. I can bomb him. Okay. This looks like zone coverage. So we're looking at 4 streaks. So what I'll do is look at the stop route. So I'm looking off square. I'm not considering square. That's backed off coverage. So I'm immediately already on triangle. I'm expecting a seam streak unless the safeties rotate. Okay, so then I'm reading triangle and the safeties to see how they rotate. If not, I'm looking at my check downs. I'll just take my check down. See that? That's like 20 yards off of the check down. One thing that you'll need to work on to throw verticals better, for verts better, is reading the safeties post snap. So see that safety in the middle of the field? I'm going to hike the ball. If he just stays in the middle, we know it's cover 3 or cover 1. And we're not going to have much deep probably. But if he like moves off to the side and they rotate into a cover 2, well, then I should have triangle. And look, he rotates to the side. And then I can bomb up the middle, all because I'm reading safeties. I'm reading safeties and not players. And that's what's going to be the difference between like a good 4 verts and a bad 4 verts player. I'm reading, so pre-snap, I looked off the number 1, 14 on the left side, like corners backed off, not even reading it. Now I'm seeing if triangle is viable. I know the rules, whether or not he's running the post or the streak, but I need to see what that safety does, right? When I hike the ball, he doesn't just backpedal, which he should do in cover 3 or cover 1. He rotates to the side, which makes this a cover 2. Now against cover 2, what did I say? The slot wide receiver, he's going to run the skinny post. That puts the mid read, number 47, the linebacker in the middle of the field, that puts him in conflict. And this is the only time I throw that seam streak to the tight end. Remember how I said I like never throw it? This is the only time I throw it. When the safety rotates out and the mid read has to pick one. Every single time this happens, you guys will see he has to pick one. Sometimes he picks the tight end, sometimes he picks the post. It just depends. This time he picked the post, so I can just throw it right down the middle of the field for a bajillion yards. That's literally the only time I throw that route. Otherwise, I'm checking it down. So I go 1-2 check down. And 1, I'm deciding pre-snap. 2 is a post-snap read. If that's not there, it's check down time. All right, so this looks like man coverage. So I'm expecting the post. I'll set up my check downs. So it looks like this. I'm expecting the post here, but let's see. Boom. Post isn't there. Everything was bagged that time. That's a good defensive play. Everything was just bagged. All right, this looks like man coverage. So we might have square. If not, we'll target the post, I think, is what we'll do here. Nope, we don't have that. Holy shit. Defense is getting sheds. All right, cover 1. We're reading the safety. Does he rotate or not? That'll tell us what what triangle's going to do. Is he going to want a streak or a post? All right, he's just going to run the streak. So then we can just check it down underneath and take our yards. All right, looks like 1 high safety. Same thing here. What is the safety going to do? He just backs up. Okay, we'll just throw the comeback. So it becomes easy once you know the rules. This looks like it might be man covered, so it might be a post route. I'll be sure to check it down though if I need to. Yeah, we can just throw the post against that man coverage. That was some kind of a blitz. All right, this is cover 2 zone. So triangle's going to run a post. X is going to run up the middle. What does the mid read do? We're going to throw it to the guy the mid read does not take. All right, that rotated into something else. Sorry, I thought that was cover 2. But I think you guys get the rule. So those are the rules. This is cover 2. This is, all right, maybe this is what I was looking for. No, they rotate. Oh, that's cover 2. But triangle was open. I just got shedded. So this is a blitz, so we'll throw the post. Post is open. Boom. Post is always open against man coverage, guys. Like, always. Press coverage, so we'll look at square. We'll see what the safety does over the top. Safety stays put, so we'll move to the post. Post is not open. If we had time, we'd check it down, but we got shedded. And this is practice mode, guys. In real game time, like, you're not going to take this many sacks. All right, press coverage, so maybe the fade is viable. Let's see what the safety does. Nope. Can we throw the post? Yes, we got the post. Boom. Zone coverage here. So we're going to look at number 2, which is triangle. If the safeties rotate, do we have something that opens up? If not, I'm just going to check it down. They do rotate, so we should have triangle. Oh, shit. Hell of a play. Hell of a play. But we're watching for the rotation from the safeties, and we saw it. Same thing here. Looking off of square. Now we're looking at the safeties. Do they rotate? Yes, it's cover 1. Nothing's open against cover 1. And of course, the computer gets epic sheds in practice mode, but that's all right. All right, this is either cover 1 or cover 3. We're looking off square due to the backed off corner, so we're on triangle. Is he running a streak or a post? Depends on what the safety does. So let's read the safety. Safety stays put, so we can just check this down. I keep forgetting to do this, guys. I'm sorry. The comeback and the flat route are better checkdowns. All right, but here, square is viable. Let's read the safety, see what he does. If not, because it's man, we know we probably have the post. Square's not viable. Triangle got bagged. Holy shit. Circle ran a great comeback. He just needs to hung on to the ball. So that's how you run 4 verticals, guys. Last one here, cover 2. Let's see what the mid read does. Who does it take? Does it take triangle or does it take X? Well, they rotated, so he's not going to take either. And I have the post. If you guys see triangles wide open, just a million sheds in practice mode. Anyway, guys, that is how you run 4 verticals. Hopefully you guys found this video useful. If so, check out the link in the description or the top pinned comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.